Hi there and welcome back to Scrap and Coffee. I'm still working on the cover for the December daily for our kit number 2 project. So this is what we've done for the front cover so far, but we're not done yet. We have to finish that, but for that we have to do some other stuff. So let's start with the back cover. We are going to wrap that as well with some pattern paper, and I've chosen to go with this pattern which has the plate on the back side. So again, I've cut that piece of pattern paper an inch larger than your chipboard piece. So when we place it on here, we have 1/2 inch border all around. And I've placed some double-sided tape. I've used a 1/4 inch tape around the perimeter and pieced in the middle a little bit so we can stick that on there. You can combine it with some wet glue if you want, but I don't think I'm going to do it. So let's peel that off. And I will explain about the holes, of course, once we've get there. So I'm just going to eyeball it a little bit, but I'm going to use my grid to help me with that, because I do want it to be somewhat straight. Yeah, something like that. Give that a nice burnish, and then just like I did for the front cover, I'm going to pre-score by going with a little embossing tool along the edge of the chipboard. Everything to prevent it from cracking. There we go, and then I'm going to pre-fold on that. You can also place your tape first, because that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to place some tape around the perimeter of the cardstock, again with the 1/4 inch tape. Okay, miter those corners again, and again make sure you have that little bit of space between your chipboard corner and where you cut. My scissors is sticky again, of course. And then I like to start on the long side. So I'm peeling that off. And I'm going to use this bone folder because it's a small piece. It works best for me. So I'm putting a strip of wet glue along the edge and a little bit to fill it in there. And then break down the fibers of the cardstock. So I'm really going over it a couple of times. Maybe I'm exaggerating, I don't know, but I just don't want it to crack on me. Just smooshed glue everywhere. Okay, the other long side, same thing. Now fold in your little overlapping and make it flat. Just like that, and clean up your corners if you need to. But mine look pretty good actually. So again here, fold those in. There we go. Nice. So I need to take some things in consideration because I only have the crocodile that I can hold in my hand. I don't have the big bite. If you don't have the big bite, life is much easier for you because you can make your holes from the side. You can go much further in. I can only go in like 1 inch, so I really have to take that in consideration. So before I go any further, I'm going to place this to the side and work on the spine part. And for the spine part, I've got a piece of pattern paper, and it's actually one of the solids. So in your kit you also got this, the Color Vibe textured cardstock, and I've went with the darkest green. I've got a piece to size, and I've got some Tyvek that is slightly larger so I can clean up the edges. And I've decided to go with the side with the dots on it, the polka dots. I don't know how well the camera is going to catch that, but one side is completely green solid and the other side has some lighter green dots in there, and I want that side to show. So I'm going to place it with the solid green facing me, and I'm going to place tape around the perimeter. And then I will also place some strips because I really want to give it a good coverage. Let's do one more. And give that a good burnish. So I'm going to attach this on the white side of the cardstock, so the black side is what I will see later on. So let's remove all those tape backings. So we can try to line up two sides of the cardstock and the Tyvek, or you can place it where you have a border on all four sides and just clean up all four of your sides, and I think that's what I'm going for. So I'm just sticking it on there, and I'm doing this so it doesn't crack over time, it will hold up over time, it makes it a little bit stronger. And then we are carefully going to clean up that edge. Sorry if you can hear my daughter in the background, she's something funny on her. I gave myself a sharp blade, hopefully. I could also do this in my paper trimmer maybe, but with the Tyvek sometimes that doesn't go very well if I have to cut small parts of the Tyvek, so I'd rather do it with my knife and ruler. There we go. I think this is easier than to have that place. You must place it on there exactly. Now I haven't been inking for a while because I've been using a lot of white cardstock, but this I'm going to ink, and I've got myself some fresh materials, but that also probably means that it's okay. So I'm just inking up that white edge there. And for that I'm using the Distress Ink Black Suit. So this will be visible on the inside of the album. So you can also sandwich this if you want to, if you don't like it. But I think I don't mind. I would rather save on the pattern paper to use it on my pages. So what we are going to do is this is going to be attached on here. We are going to make holes here and in our spine part. Now because I only have that small crocodile, once I've attached this I'm not able to make those holes anymore, so I need to do it by forehand, but that will also mean that I will be able to see this strip attached. Now I've been thinking about it, and for me that's just the way to go. Yeah, that's just what I have to deal with. So what I will be doing is cover this up with, I've actually made this for the front cover, but I can use it on the back cover, of course, just as easy. So we can cover this up, but I also have some ribbon. Now this is what I've had from my baby album. For you guys, I have a little bit different ribbon, a little bit smaller. I think it looks better. So you can, if you have the kit, then you can use that one. And yeah, I wasn't really able to find any Christmas ribbon at this moment of the year. So I've decided to go with white. And if you have something else in your stash that you prefer, then of course, feel free to use that. So I've cut it in half and I'm cutting it in half again. And I'm going to place two pieces there. And the other one is for the front cover, so we don't have to place it too far away. Let's clean up a little bit. So where are we going to place this? I'm thinking about 1 3/4 from the edge. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks good to me. So I'm going to, place some tape or just stick it down with tape. So 1 3/4 from the edge, that's where my ribbon starts. And yes, you are seeing this right. I have not made a pencil mark to guide me. I just measured it and that was it. That's a rare thing, you will see. Okay, so for these holes, they are here already, of course. So what I'm thinking, because I've already done it and I just want them to match up. I'm going to make my holes here and then cover it and then make my holes here. So what I've done is I've drawn a line 1/2 inch from the edge. That's where I want it to be, that's how far I want it in. Then I've got one page that I've already had the holes in there. And you can do two things. You can line it here and then you mark, you have that 1/2 inch pencil line there. Or you just make a little mark on your cardstock if you're going to do it all in one layer, of course. And then you lay this page here where you have a nice border all around. And you can see that mark that you've made from that 1/2 inch. And then you can just draw your circle on, that's where I want to have my punch. So then it's nicely centered, as you can see. What you can also do is measure, and I believe it was 2 1/4 inwards. 2 1/4, yeah. So you measure 1/2 inch from the long edge inwards and then 2 1/4 from your edge inwards, mark that, and you measure 2 1/4 here, mark that, and then you also have your mark. But I actually think that this is a little bit more precise. So, but because I want to make sure that all 3 of my layers are punched at the same place, and for some reason I never take out what I have been punching. I'm punching it right now here. But if you have the big bite, then you don't have to do it right now, and you can hide the construction of your spine as well. That's what I was trying to show you a minute ago. So then I have this piece. Let's combine it a little bit. I don't know, I have these things that I do, and for some reason I keep doing them and I cannot really tell you why. But I'm also not able to let go of that for some reason. So you can also do this with pattern paper if you want to. But especially on the back cover, I'm my idea is to build another feature on that back cover, so then I think it's a waste of my pattern paper. But of course you can wait and see until you know how it turns out and then decide for yourself. And now I can punch those holes from this side as well on the exact same spot. I had to figure it out a little bit, of course, so that's why my holes for the chipboard were already in there. That's it. And now I also want to clean this up. So what we will be doing is use eyelet for that. I'm going to push that through. Place your washer here with the good side up on there. Make sure you have the right settings on your crocodile. Don't push too hard, and then we have nice eyelet in there. Do the same thing here. Done. Now I don't know if I can also do this on the spine, but we'll see. So this is going to be attached here, and what I'm going to do is measure where that needs to go. I can go about 1 inch inwards, so I'm going to make a little mark. I have my ruler at the inch, and then I'm going 2 1/4 inwards, and I'll see how that lines up with the chipboard. So that's 1 2 1/4, about there. Let's get myself something on. Okay, that one. Oh my gosh, it's just ruler. Come on, 1 2 1/4. So around those marks. Let me see how that lines up. I have them there and I have it there. That lines up. Okay, I'm just checking through my holes if they line up. And then my edges are lined up. So that's my checking point. And then I just put my crocodile away, but I need it, of course. Again, you do have to use the 3/16 punch hole for this. So I'm going to get it as far in as I can possibly get it in. And I really want to get it in there. But again, if you have the big bite, life is much easier. I have to clean that up a little bit. Okay, and again. It didn't punch quite nice through the tie bag, so let's. So I'm thinking that this layer is too thin for getting a nice result with your eyelet. So I will probably use reinforcement piece to make that better. I'm a little bit scared to do it with the. I can try it on a piece, of course, how it will look. Let me do that. Okay, so I've tried it on a scrap piece, and it's actually not too bad. Because of the washer, you can get away with it, I guess. So let's see if I can get in far enough. It should be, because I was able to make the hole. So again, I'm doing it at this stage simply because I cannot do it after it's attached anymore. And yeah, it's barely going far enough. So that's one. it, you can do it. Yes. And 2. Okay, then I will place a strip of 1/4 inch tape here along the edge. And I'm going to stick it on here where I'm no longer able to see the tape, of course. Line up my my sides, and I'm not going over where I'm closing up that hole anymore. So yeah, I'm just going to stick down about 1/4 inch there. And yeah, I am going to combine it again with some wet glue so it's really stuck down, because we don't have a lot of extra secureness there. At least I don't have that because I have to do it this way. So the black will be showing on the inside. So we stick down about 1/4 inch, make sure no tape is overhanging here. Then we have our binding rings, and I on purpose got pretty large ones. And let me see, I'm going to go from the bottom. And I've tried it before and they should fit through your eyelet. I think this is the best way to go. Okay, yeah, so it's a little bit stiff, I cannot deny that, but it's probably because of the way that I have to construct it. But it's in there. Now the spine we are going to yeah, and I did give it a good coverage, but maybe you want to do even more because I do have some air underneath here when I bend it. But we are going to bend this over and then attach that on the inside there. I'm just going to measure how far we are going to stick that down in here. About 1 inch, I guess. Yeah, I'm going for 1 inch. So I'm going to mark that line. Let's see, we have to do it on the right way, on the top. So this is my top. Turn it over, turn it upside down. I'm going to mark a 1 inch line. And I'm going to place some tape and some glue probably on there. Staying away from that line a little bit. And also don't go all the way to the side edge. Although the spine is all the way to the side edge, so that's fine actually. give that a burnish. Again, I'm going to combine it a little bit. And now, let's see that I'm doing this the right way. It's going like that, right? Yep. So place this, lining it up with the pencil mark and your side edges. It's okay if you can still see your pencil mark. And burnish it. Before I forget, I'm also placing my ribbon, so I still have that other half piece, and I'm also cutting in half, and I'm going to place it again. What did I say? 1 3/4, right? 1 3/4. And 1 3/4. And now I'm going to cut myself a piece of black cardstock, 1/4 of an inch smaller than this measurement, and I'm going to, just cut it the same measurement as the other piece. So cut that, tape that, remove the tape backing. Ooh. A little bit of wet glue there. Oh, we can remove this as well. Hurry, hurry. I think I left it on there on the other side, but it's okay. So I'm aiming for a border on the bottom and the sides. Like that. And then be careful with burnishing in the middle, because you don't have a lot of support there because of the acetate frame. So just go over carefully without giving too much pressure. And that's cleaned up. And then we have a cover that we can, this is the bottom, we can close it like that, tie that up. And I do admit this is a little bit stiff, and that's because of the way that I've constructed this. If you have the big bite, like I said a couple of times, then you can make your piece a little longer, stick it down a little further down, but don't stick it all the way to the edge. Have this loose from each other a little bit. So I've stuck that down completely because I wasn't able to go in very far. But if you can have the edges here loose from each other a little bit, this will move a little bit better. But in my case, it's really rigid, and yeah, there's nothing that I can do about that. Yeah, I don't think I'm really going to mind it, but yeah, you see there is a little bit of stress, also because I've used eyelet. So maybe if you leave the eyelet out, it will also be a little bit better, but then you also have the higher chance of ripping the paper around the hole that you've made. So yes, it's not perfect, I will admit that. But now, yeah, we can further decorate this, of course. I will think about that later on if I want to do that. But now we can place our pages and our text in here, and I have a couple of them with a hole in there, but see also this, it's not, that's because it's too rigid for me. And I will probably end up placing a little something here to clean it up a little bit, because I see that's also kind of interfering. So now we can fill them up. But of course I need to do all the decorations. Oh, there's no hole in there, so. But that's how it will work. And close it. So what I just hope I'm clear with what I'm trying to explain. If you are able to do it, have this one go further in, stick it down with like 1 or 2 strips of tape, about, yeah, maybe an inch inwards, and have the rest of them be able to come loose of each other. So just stick it down here on the edge. And I think you will have more movement ability in your spine part than I have. I really need to get myself a big bite. That's the conclusion. Okay, so I can now tie this. I think I kind of like the white, although maybe a red or a green would have been great. But see, my ribbon is a little bit wider than your ribbon, so it's, I think yours is better. So this is the cover. Yeah, not perfect, but still I'm quite happy with it. And we can fill this up. Maybe when we fill it up it also looks a little bit better. We'll see. Okay, so this is the cover for the December daily. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.